Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a video on last night's episode of The Walking Dead. This is going to be my episode review of Season 7, Episode 15, entitled Something They Need. Now this episode was absolutely insane. I actually loved it so much. I thought that it was an amazing episode. One of the best episodes actually of the entire season. Not the best episode of the season because there was a lot of good ones like Episode 8, you know, and there was a few other ones as well. Obviously, the premiere was pretty fucking insane, but with that being said, you know, the rest of the season was all pretty slow. You know, I understand why it was slow, though, so I'm not one of those guys who just hates on it. But with that being said, this episode was intense. Intense as fuck, especially the last moments of the episode as well. They were so good when they finally got back to Alexandria. And we all know within this episode, all right, they basically went on a journey to the ocean side. Tara actually ended up telling Rick and the crew about the ocean side and about their armory and about all the guns that they had and everything like that. And, you know, they were people that got attacked by the Saviors and all their men, and, you know, their children were killed. You know, she told them about everything. And they went there with the intention of basically trying to either get them to join them or to just hand over their guns. They never wanted to go there and intentionally hurt them. You know what I mean? Tara actually ended up going in, trying to convince the grandmother of joining them. And she had a pistol, of course, pointed at her, but it turns out the pistol was completely unloaded. So, again, they never went there with the intention of hurting her. Now, all the explosions that they set off and stuff like that we've seen in the promos and the sneak peeks and stuff, they were basically all around the outer perimeter, you know, of the ocean side. So, again, all of those explosions were really used to sort of herd them into one spot. You know what I mean? Like, to get them riled up and scared and afraid and everything like this. So, I mean, that's basically what the explosions were for, you know, when they were going to the ocean side. And when they ultimately attacked the ocean side, that's what the explosions were for, you know. And we actually get to see what I thought was cool, because our characters really pick up on a few things that happened to them in the past, you know. For example, Michonne was actually set up in a tree outside of Oceanside. She was set up in a tree outside of Oceanside, and she was basically sniper support. You know, she's not really that great of a shot, but she's getting better. They're sort of trying to develop her into like a Michonne Andrea hybrid, you know, in a way, because Andrea is such a good shot in the comic books. And of course, Andrea in the comic books, she's the one in a relationship with Rick. In the TV show, Andrea is obviously dead. So that's what they're trying to form Michonne really into, I think, is the whole sniper thing, but at the same time, the samurai thing as well. It's sort of like a hybrid, and I'm actually digging it. It's actually pretty cool. But anyway, she was set up in a tree with a sniper rifle, and basically when the bombs and everything started going off, the two main girls that were there, and they tried to basically kill Tara the last time we seen them. You know, they're the ones that were supposed to take her to the bridge and ended up trying to kill her. They actually went for the weapons. They went for the shed, and Michonne was there to basically start to shoot at them, but she shot at their feet, which is something that we've seen before, specifically in Season 5 of The Walking Dead, where the Terminus people, you know, the Terminans, whatever you want to call them, they were shooting at Rick, Daryl, Michonne, and Carl, basically try to hurt them, you know, in one direction. And Michonne did the exact same thing. She shot at the ground, not trying to kill him, just trying to keep him away from that gun area, trying to keep him away from the shed, the armory, if you will. And I think that's really cool, because I thought it was a subtle thing, you know, not really a lot of people will pick up on that. I could be reading it completely wrong too, but that's sort of how I took it. I just think that it's cool that they get to use all of these things that they've experienced personally, and they get to use them against other people, you know what I mean? I thought that was a really cool thing. I sort of picked up on it. Again, I don't know if a lot of people did. I don't even know if it really has any reference to that whatsoever, but, you know, I'd like to think that it does. Oh, and also, just to let you guys know, just to reassure you guys, this all with Michonne and the whole Alexandrian crew hitting the ocean side, this all didn't happen at the very beginning of the episode. I just want to dissect it, okay? You know what I mean? Like, go through it bit by bit, and, you know, not have all these opinions mashed up at once, you know? So, basically what happened with the ocean side, they actually ended up, with the grandmother, you know, holding Tara hostage with a gun to her head. What's her name? Cynthia? Maybe Cindy? I think it's Cindy. Cindy, the granddaughter, you know, the one that Tara actually made the promise to, Once Rick and everybody got all the guns from everybody, and they got them all like lined up and stuff like that on their knees and everything like that, you know, and out of range of any weapons or anything like that, they basically explained to them that they were fighting the Saviors. That's what they're here for. That's what they're there for. They're trying to get guns so that they can fight back against the Saviors. And they're trying to convince these guys, or the girls, I guess, to join them in their fight against the Saviors. And they're so reluctant. Actually, a lot of people do. A lot of people in that group do. But they're not going to do it if everybody doesn't. You know what I mean? And everybody definitely does not. The only one that's really against it, I believe, is the grandmother. There could be a few other ones that are just scared and stuff like that, but a majority of them actually do want to fight, including Cindy, which is why Cindy actually ended up knocking out the grandmother. And the only way she was able to actually do that is because walkers started to storm on to the camp. They actually came from the ocean where a boat actually washed up, so that's pretty cool. Boat washed up. There was walkers that were completely bloated out, sort of like we've seen with like the Well Walker back in season 2. I thought that was all really nice. I thought that was all really cool. We got a walker scene, you know, and we really get to see the group work together in a way with, you know, Rick's group, the Alexandrians, and the Oceanside community, actually. Rick ended up untying some hands and giving them some weapons, and they were helping them fight the walkers, and that's just a really cool... Forgot to put that on silent. Sorry, guys. That's just a really cool thing that I liked seeing, because chances are we're not going to get to see that in the future, especially with like the Oceanside not really wanting to fight back against Negan, but I suppose they could change their mind down the line and, you know, come and help out with the fight, with the war that's going to happen, because we all know that it's coming. But with that being said, I just thought that it was interesting to see sort of the group mentality and, you know, the communication and the work ethic together to take down an entire horde of walkers just by sort of lining up, you know, in complete formation and doing it that way. You know, we see Carl take down some walkers with a rifle, Jesus with his precision, other people with knives. You know, Rick was taking down a few as well, obviously. And Michonne was still up in the tree. She actually took down some with a sniper rifle as well. She's getting it. She's getting better, you know, with the shot. One of them was like a body shot, or she didn't hit them or whatever. But the next one was a headshot and took down the walker pretty well. So I'm glad to see that. Again, this whole Michonne-Andrea hybrid is definitely a thing, I think. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see it. You know, it's going to be interesting to see that development. But yeah, guys, after they defeated the walkers, I mean, that was pretty much the end of the whole Oceanside and Alexandria thing. The grandmother ended up getting up saying, you know, we're not fighting the Saviors with you, so just leave and take your damn guns. So they ended up taking all the weapons, everything from the Oceanside. But Tara did explain, you know, once we beat them, once we defeat them, we're not sitting here, we're not hiding in the woods. Once we defeat the Saviors, we will bring your guns back to you, you know. And they understand why they're not joining the fight and stuff like that. But they take their guns and they're on their way, and that's where they basically leave the Oceanside. Where they leave the Oceanside is, I'd say, probably a little more than halfway through the episode. Again, I just thought that it was a really interesting scene, you know, for us to see Oceanside and Alexandria, you know, work so well together, but unfortunately they don't want to fight the Saviors, or like I said, at least the grandmother doesn't. So anyway, they take their guns, they're off on their own, and they're on their way back to Alexandria. Now on to the hilltop. We're going to save the best for last, which happens to be Negan. I thought that he had some amazing scenes, okay? I really did. Negan will be last, and then there's going to be a little tiny part afterwards that was basically the end of the episode. We're going to go over that because that was something special, I'll tell you that much. But anyways, the hilltop, okay? We got to see most of this stuff in the promo and in the sneak peek. It wasn't too much. Basically, to gist it up, you know, it was Maggie sort of teaching some people and some, you know, some of the hilltop community how to farm and how to do it on their own without Maggie's help. Gregory ends up overhearing one of them call her boss lady, which, you know, could be sort of, you know, dramatic to Gregory's ego, I guess, if you will. Anyway, she was teaching some people how to basically farm on their own. The next scene that we get to see with her is her outside of the hilltop walls, basically farming out there, you know, planting some seeds out there, fixing up some things out there. Gregory ended up going out to her. I already reviewed all this in my episode prediction video, where basically I went over the sneak peek, because that's basically what this was. But after the encounter there, and after Gregory almost kind of kills her, didn't really, I mean, he wanted to, you can tell, you know what I mean, but he didn't. He ended up turning away and really, you know, questioning himself, which is a good sign, but at the same time, it's also a bad sign, because we've got to see that before with Shane wanting to kill Rick, like in the woods when he was lining his shotgun up with Rick, you know what I mean? And I mean, we all know how that turned out, right? He went away from that, but he came back at a later date. So we do sort of know how that pans out, but other than that, there was a walker that came by. Gregory puffed his chest up and, you know, basically wanted to stroke his ego and go kill the walker. He said that he wouldn't be alive if he never killed a walker before. And he went over to it, and I thought it was it was sort of a comedic relief point in the episode, where he just sort of went up to it, looked at it, was terrified, said Jesus, and then turned around and told Maggie to go ahead and do it. So Maggie went over to do it. Another walker attacked Gregory. Gregory was on the ground, basically holding the walker up, trying not to bite him and stuff like that. And he calls out to Maggie for help. She comes over, saves his life. So, you know, that might be a good sign, you know? He got his life saved by Maggie, but at the same time, he got his life saved by Maggie. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be harsh on his ego, if you will, because he has a big one, you know? And we actually get to see later on him talking to Ken, I believe it was, basically saying that he wants him to drive him somewhere, and that somewhere is most likely the sanctuary where Simon told him that he could go. And we get to learn later on in the episode that Negan has a snitch, or a quote-unquote little birdie, that is telling him that Rick and the group is up to no good. Now, I'm not sure, you know, if it's Gregory. I have a few other theories of who it could be, like Eric, Aaron's boyfriend. Could be Eric. It could be Gregory. You know, it could just be Eugene, because, I mean, Eugene doesn't really know about the plan, but he does know that Sasha and Rosita both came to break him out, so that could be something. You know, it could have been Eugene. I'm not sure who else it could be, but yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that it's probably Gregory. I mean, that's the best case scenario, because he's a piece of shit. We all know it, you know what I mean? At the same time, I think Eric is sort of overreacting and just being really dramatic about it. He's terrified, I know that. But at the same time, I don't think that's him, because where would he get the chance to sort of pull away and go see Negan, you know what I mean, and tell him about it? But with that being said, that's the Hilltop, that's the Alexandria and the Oceanside side of things for this episode. Again, all really insane in their own right. The really insane part is now, alright? The sanctuary with Negan. We didn't have a lot of scenes, you know, with them, but we do end up actually finding out that Sasha is alive. She's being held captive in a cell, much like the one Daryl was in, if not the exact one. Anyway, she's being held in a cell, and the first time we get to see her, a person named Davy comes in. Alright, now, you might know this from the comic book, okay? I sort of led to it in my prediction video. I never really, you know, spoiled it or anything like that, but I did sort of touch on it a bit, okay? Davy, he comes into the room, and he's the exact person that wanted to touch Enid, you know, in that last scene, I think episode 8 or episode 4 of season 7, when they were visiting Alexandria. He was just being really fucking creepy with, like, the balloons and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't good, man. It wasn't good whatsoever. It was gross, but nonetheless, he's doing the exact same right now with, you know, Sasha, and he basically says, you know, if you want water, because she asked for water, if you want water, which is something I don't want to do, and I'm not allowed to do, will you do something for me, you know? And he ended up ripping her shirt, and then just as he was, like, undoing his pants, again, just being really fucking creepy, obviously trying to rape her, Negan shows up. He hammers the door with his baseball bat with Lucille, basically says, you know, what the hell are you doing in here? And he started to answer, and then Negan was like, do you really think that I need you to answer that? You were trying to rape this poor woman, and, well, that led to some consequences. He basically said, you know, I wouldn't want to be a part of a community where the leader let this kind of thing happen, you know? That would not be a good community whatsoever. even Negan, as psycho as he is, he has morals. You know what I mean? He definitely has morals, and good on him for this one. That's all I can say, because this came straight out of the comic book or graphic novel. He pulled out his knife up to Davy and was like, this requires some punishment, you know what I mean? And Davy ended up apologizing, trying to apologize, and then he slid his knife like fucking butter, like a hot knife through butter, into the side of Davy's neck and out the other side, just like that. Like it was sudden, so it was sort of, I wanted to say it's a shock, but at the same time I knew it was coming because of the graphic novel and stuff like that, but it's still such a really, really shocking thing to see, you know, on TV, on the screen, you know what I mean, compared to in a book. Anyway, slid his knife in there and basically said, you know, I do not accept your apology, let him fall to the ground, and then he told Sasha, you know, I'm sorry that you had to see that, but I wanted you to know that we're not monsters, you know? You need to know that we're not monsters. And he basically leaves her with the knife, gives her the opportunity to either slice her wrists, you know, kill herself, stop Davy from turning and join the Saviors, and, you know, try something with the knife the next time he comes around and stuff like that. And he leaves her with the knife, basically says that it's hers now, you know? And, again, I just, you know, I don't want to say that I respect Negan for it, but you have to, you know what I mean? Like, he's not an actual psychopath. Well, he kind of is, you know what I mean? But he's a psychopath, I guess, with morals in a way, you know? Like, he doesn't like women getting hurt. He doesn't want to rape women. He has the utmost respect for women no matter what, you know? I don't think that he's actually ever Lucille'd a woman either. So, I mean, that's another thing. Again, he has the utmost respect for women, and he has zero tolerance for rape, you know, and Davy, obviously, that was seen that firsthand, so to speak. So, anyway, he left Sasha with the knife. Sasha ended up actually stabbing, obviously, the walker with it, or Davy, you know, before he turned into a walker, or after, actually, he turned into a walker. We get to see him turn, which was kind of cool. After that, Negan went to go get his knife. He got the knife, basically said, you know, you didn't think I was really going to let you keep that and stuff like that. Sasha ended up trying to agree to join the Saviors and stuff like that. And Negan basically said, you know, well, we're going to have to work on some things, but it's a good sign that you're showing, you know, this to me. It's a good sign that you're showing me that you want to, you know, join this group, you know. And, he basically explained it, you know, I just lost a man, and I mean, you're not a man, but you'll do just fine, because she quote-unquote has giant man-sized lady nuts, I believe was the exact quote that he used, which was kind of cool, because she did come in there like kamikaze last night, which was, again, incredible to see. She ended up getting captured, obviously, but after that, he left. She ended up getting attention to Eugene, and basically ended up trying to get him to slide her like something, you know, glass, a knife, a gun, whatever it is. She wanted to quote unquote kill herself. You know, she wanted to end it so that he wouldn't use her against her own people. But she didn't necessarily want that, because we get to find out, I mean, she wanted the blade, she wanted the glass or the gun to actually go ahead and kill Negan. She was sort of tricking Eugene, so to speak, because she wanted a way out, but not to kill herself, you know, to kill Negan. So after Eugene did this for her, you know, he didn't give her a knife or anything like that. He actually gave her one of the pills that he previously made for the girl that was trying to commit suicide. So he ended up granting her request, but with the pill. And she was very sad at that, because obviously you can't really, you know, kill Negan with the pill, so to speak. So her plan definitely backfired there. But you know, it's definitely a start, you know. I'm interested to see where it goes, you know. Negan explained to her, basically saying, you know, you're going to help me fix this. He said that I have a little birdie that's telling me that Rick and his group is up to no good. You're going to help me fix this. And I believe that next time he goes to Alexandria, I think that he's going to bring Sasha with him. And there's a little bit of a story there, you know, to do with a certain person named Holly in the graphic novels. I'm not going to spoil or anything, but I'm pretty excited for it to see if it actually happens, okay? So with that being said, that's it basically for the Sanctuary and Sasha and Negan. Again, it was all very interesting, especially with Davey, getting the knife in the neck. That was crazy to see, it really was. It was sudden, shocking, if you will. The last scene was actually Rick and the group, the Alexandrians rather, getting back to Alexandria after they got all the weapons and after they got all the guns and stuff like that. They got back to Alexandria only to find Rosita opening the gate. Rosita, last time we saw Rosita was when she was outside of the sanctuary and she seen somebody dressed in black with a crossbow. We all thought that it might have been Daryl. I personally thought that it was Dwight. And we get to see exactly who that was. So she basically told Rick and the group, somebody's here. And that is when she led all of the Alexandrians to the jail cell that Morgan previously made for like the Wolf and, just anybody who needed to be in jail. She led them to the jail cell where none other than Dwight was waiting. And she basically explained to them, he says that he wants to help. Daryl ended up actually freaking out and trying to, get through and attack him. Rick did hold him back. After that, Rick basically said, you want to help? He asked Dwight that, and he said yes. And that is when Rick pulled out his revolver and basically said, all right then, get on your knees. And that is where the episode ended. Now, that was a thrilling part, you know what I mean? It was just, I can't wait. I really can't. That's pretty much it though. I mean, honestly, that's the end of the episode right there for starters. I thought that it was a really good episode. If I had to rate it, it would definitely be a 9 out of 10. One of the better episodes of the season, in my personal opinion. Episode 15 was absolutely insane. Episode 16, just judging from the one sneak peek and the one promo that we have, is even more insane. It really is. Like, it's going to be absolutely crazy, guys, and I cannot wait for it. It airs in 1 week, April 2nd, all right? Make sure you guys go ahead and tune the fuck in. It's an hour and a half or an hour and 25 minutes, okay? It isn't extended. And the only thing that I can say is this is the most anticipated episode of The Walking Dead that I've been waiting for a very long time, I think. Other than maybe the episode, or the season 7 premiere, where Glenn and Abraham ended up getting the bat. But other than that, this is crazy, guys. I mean, I can't wait. And this is going to be episode 99, too. You think about that? That's cool, man. That's cool. Episode 99. Season 8, episode 1 is going to be obviously episode 100, which is going to be crazy. They're going to do something big for it, And I can't wait for it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This has been my episode review of Season 7, Episode 15, entitled Something They Need. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I definitely did. Make sure you guys go check out the episode again, rewatch it, see if you guys missed anything. Tell me what you thought of it down in the episode, or down in the comment section below. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place. It's been a long night. I didn't really get much sleep. So, anyways, thank you all so much for watching again. I gotta go work on some other videos and stuff like that. I am a gaming channel primarily. I'm starting up YouTube full time again. We're going full force on it. We're gonna actually try to get somewhere. I'm gonna be streaming like constantly. If you guys are into gaming and stuff like that, definitely check them out. Check me out on Twitch and on YouTube. I actually stream with something called Restream. My friend Simon, my friend Gunhearted, Simon, got me into it, which is basically something, it's a service where you can stream Twitch and you can stream to YouTube at the exact same time, which is pretty cool. And you can interact with both of your viewers at the exact same time. I actually really like it. So I'm going to be using that from now on. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye. I don't like the snap. Not going to use the snap again, I promise.